Hello everybody, this is another Hot Wheels collector video. Today we are looking at the Porsche Taycan Turbo S from the 2023 Hot Wheels mainline. I believe this is in GKS, and this is a really cool one. So without further ado, let me give you some facts about this car. It was quite easy to come across them because obviously this is a car that's still in production. So facts are much more widely available, especially from Porsche's actual website. So these facts are pretty much highly likely to be very accurate. So this car has a 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. Obviously electric cars have a really good 0 to 60 because obviously that torque, usually it's the top speed that lets them down. Porsche did not tell us an actual top speed of this car in miles per hour, so that's unfortunate, but we do have the power. So this car has 560 kilowatts of power, which translates to 671 brake horsepower. This car started production in 2020 and had a starting price of $148,000. This car also has quite an impressive range, especially for such a sporty car that will obviously be going pretty quick most of the time, and has a range of up to 246 miles. That's probably if you drive it very sensibly. If you drive it as a sports car and it is in like really quickly and pulling out of junctions like a maniac, you will probably get much less mileage, but that's probably to be expected, and it's a very similar story in petrol cars. This car interestingly shares the same platform as its pretty much sibling car, the Audi e-tron GT. Obviously Audi and Porsche are both owned by Volkswagen Group, so obviously they share parts. Commonly all the Volkswagen Group cars share those parts, including Lamborghini and even Bugatti. I think they were trying to sell Bugatti, weren't they? And obviously we've already reviewed the e-tron GT earlier. It's an earlier video, it's quite far back, and it is one of my worst videos when I was using an old microphone and we had the carpet in the background and all that type of stuff. So I will put a link to that video in the pinned comment, but I may redo that video probably in the future when I decide, once I've got through all these other ones that I've got to do, I will go back and redo the videos that are using the old setup. But anyways, let's get into the showcase of this car. Alright, so starting off with the side of the car, we'll start with the wheels. This car has the Muscle Car 5-spoke wheels from 2010. Really nice wheel choice there. They're done in black with a chrome lip. Quite modern looking actually, and it really does suit this car. As for tamper work, there is no tamper work on this side, but you can see there's the plug-in part where you plug it in to charge it. Right there, it's actually done in the metal casting. This car unfortunately does not have any wing mirrors, which is unfortunate and quite disappointing, but this is a mainline car, so we can obviously let them get away with it on this one. But if it came to premium, I would be expecting wing mirrors, and I think they should start putting them on the premium stuff that doesn't have it already, especially if they're just easy to do like this car. All the windows are up on this car, so it doesn't look quite as sporty as, say, some other Porsche castings, but obviously this is a sports car, and one of the first electric sports cars to be produced, obviously because it was starting to be produced in 2020. And interestingly, this car does have a 2 gear box, I suppose. It's not really a gearbox though, because it's all just electronic now, but there you go. It has 2 forwards gears, which is interesting. I thought I'd drop that in there, even though that's a fact and not about the actual casting. But interestingly, the side skirt is created using the black base plastic. The interior is also done in black plastic as well. Really nice, and you can see the door handles are actually featured in the casting. I'll talk about the colour. This colour is a very metallic dark green. There's a lot of flake in it, as you can see. It's really nice colour. I think it looks better in person, but it doesn't look bad on camera, to be entirely honest. Usually the metallic paints look much worse on camera than in real life. I'll zoom on in a little bit more for you there so you can see all this detail. On the front we do have some tamper work. So first of all we have the headlights, which have been done very nicely. Very accurate look into the real life model. Love to see the realistic looking headlights. And we also have that lovely Porsche badge there. Very nicely centered on this one. I know some of them will be off centered. That's what happens with the mainline, unfortunately. You can also see the lower portion of the front bumper is also created using the black base plastic. Acts as a very nice colour break and is also accurate to the real life car. Not much more going on the front, but what I will mention whilst we're here is this car does have windshield wipers in the actual plastic. Really nice to see that little detail there. And there's a front view of the car once again. Spin this car around and zoom on out a little bit. There we go. Alright, so not much more going on this side. We also do have an electric charging point, I suppose. I almost said fuel filler. It's not a fuel filler, it's like an electric charging point, let's just call it that, on this side as well, interestingly. And that's obviously accurate to the real life car. There you go, that's this side. Obviously you can pause the video, it's the same as the previous. So if you've got anything you're looking for in particular, you could have paused it there. Looking at the rear of this car, we do have a lot of tamper work here as well. So you can see the realistic looking rear lights have been done, really nice looking. Done in black and white tampo, and you can also see the Porsche badge, which is done in white tampo in the actual light strip itself, accurate to the real life model, really nice. And actually just below that it does have the writing Porsche Taycan, or I think it actually says Taycan Turbo S, never mind. It's in a really hard to see, almost silver colour, and you could barely see it on camera. I'll try and focus it in there, you can probably just about see it. Let me try and, it's really difficult to get this camera to focus on that. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but there you go. And lower down we also have the license plate, which is done in green and it reads Turbo S, and we also have two reflectors which have been done on that rear bumper portion. Speaking of that rear bumper portion, it is created using the black base plastic. Once again, acts as a nice colour break, really cool to see that. And there's that rear view of the car. Alright, now for the top of the car, there is the view. Ooh, bit shaky there. No tamper work on the top, but it does look very accurate. You can see that rear window, the front window, and I was reading something interesting about this car when I was coming across the facts. It shares the same front windshield as the e-tron GT2. It's the only exterior part, which I found was really interesting. You probably are not interested in that at all, but that I thought was a funky fact. So there you go. Anyways, that's really it for this casting. It's obviously a factory fresh looking one. It was in the factory fresh set, I think, this year. Or maybe it was on the electric set, I really can't remember. But there you go, really, really cool car, accurate to the real life model. And obviously it's done in those stock looking details. It's exciting to see what might come from this casting in the future. It's already been around for a few years, but yeah, I can picture some racing stuff coming to it. Yeah, some really cool stuff. But anyways, let's get into my review and thoughts on this car. Alright, so now it is time for my review and final thoughts on this car. So obviously it's done in a really nice green metallic. I think it's similar to the Audi which is coming out. I believe that may be an RS6. I haven't got that yet, but I think it's a similar green. Anyways, that's besides the point. I think this is a really accurate casting to real life, and I really like the stock tampo work on this. It would have been nice to have the wing mirrors, so that is going to affect my rating, of course. But I do really like this, and I think the wheel choice is pretty nice too. I didn't think the wheels would look very nice, especially when I saw the case unboxing. But actually in person they do suit the car quite nicely. It is the only chrome on the car, but it does look nice, I'm not gonna lie. It does suit the car really nicely. So anyways, that leads me on to my score. What am I going to give this car out of 10? Well, I'm going to have to deduct a little bit because it does not have wing mirrors. So that gives me a score of 7 out of 10. There you go. I really do like this one. It is an absolutely great casting. Remember, anything above 7 is something that I highly recommend you buy if you see in shops, and is a really, really good one, and this is no exception. That's really it for this video. Not a whole lot more to talk about other than this is a really nice one, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. It's a really nice piece. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Remember, you can also press that notification bell so you do not miss any new uploads. Remember, you can also share this video with any friends, family, or in any groups who may be interested. But remember, don't feel pressured to if you don't feel like you have anybody who may be interested. You watching this video means so much to me, and I thank you so much for watching this video. Anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.